Have you ever noticed something interesting about people born in January? Many of them seem a little different. They often appear more disciplined, more responsible, and sometimes even more mature than people their own age. But this might not just be a coincidence. Psychologists and researchers have discovered something surprising. The month you are born in can actually influence how your personality develops. In fact, people born in January are often associated with traits like stronger self-control, higher levels of ambition, and a mindset that feels slightly older than their peers. But why would the timing of your birth make such a difference? How can something as simple as being born at the beginning of the year shape the way someone thinks, behaves, and grows emotionally? In this video, we're going to explore the hidden psychology behind January-born individuals and uncover why many experts believe they tend to mature faster than others. And by the end, you might start looking at birth months in a completely different way. One of the biggest psychological reasons people born in January often appear more mature comes from something scientists call the relative age effect. At first, it might sound complicated, but the idea is actually very simple. In many countries, schools use a calendar year system for enrollment. This means children born at the beginning of the year enter school with classmates who might be almost a full year younger than them. And during childhood, a one-year difference is massive. A child born in January could be nearly 12 months older than someone born in December in the same classroom. That difference can affect everything from physical development to emotional maturity. Older children in a class often speak more clearly, understand instructions faster, and show better self-control. Because of this, teachers may unconsciously view them as more capable or responsible. Over time, these small differences begin to shape how the child sees themselves. If a January-born student is repeatedly praised for being focused, disciplined, or mature, they slowly begin to believe that this is who they are. Psychologists call this the beginning of identity reinforcement. When a person is treated as responsible, they often start acting responsible. When they are seen as mature, they begin to behave maturely. So what started as a simple age advantage slowly turns into a psychological pattern. And as the years go by, that early advantage can quietly shape confidence, ambition, and the way someone approaches challenges in life. But the story doesn't stop with age advantage. Something even more powerful begins to happen over time, and psychologists call it the self-fulfilling prophecy. This concept describes a simple but powerful pattern in human behavior. When people expect something from you repeatedly, those expectations can slowly shape the way you behave. Think about a child who is constantly told they are responsible, mature, and capable. Teachers trust them more. Parents give them more responsibility. Even classmates may start to see them as a leader. Without realizing it, that child begins to grow into the role that others have assigned to them. They try harder. They behave more carefully. They start making decisions that match the identity people have given them. For many January-born individuals, this process can start very early. Because they appear slightly older and more developed than some classmates, adults may naturally expect more from them. They might be asked to lead group activities, help organize tasks, or set an example for others. Each of these small moments reinforces the same message: you are the responsible one. Over years, these expectations create a psychological feedback loop. The more responsibility someone receives, the more they learn how to handle it. And the more they succeed in that role, the more confident they become in their ability to manage challenges. Eventually, maturity stops being something they are trying to prove. It simply becomes part of who they are. Interestingly, this early maturity advantage doesn't just stay inside the classroom. In many cases, it continues to appear later in life as well. Researchers studying leadership patterns have noticed something unusual about birth months. A slightly higher number of successful leaders, executives, and professional athletes tend to be born in the early months of the year, including January. At first glance, this sounds strange. How could the month someone is born influence success decades later? The answer may lie in what psychologists call cumulative advantage. Cumulative advantage means that small benefits gained early in life slowly grow into bigger opportunities over time. Imagine a child who is just a little older, a little stronger, and a little more confident than their classmates. They might perform better in school competitions, receive more encouragement from teachers, and feel more comfortable taking leadership roles. Because they succeed early, people begin trusting them with more responsibility. And because they receive more responsibility, they gain even more experience and confidence. This cycle quietly builds over many years. Small early advantages become stronger skills. Stronger skills create bigger opportunities. By adulthood, these individuals may naturally feel more comfortable leading teams, making decisions, or handling pressure. What started as a simple difference in birth timing slowly turns into something much bigger. A mindset that is used to responsibility, challenge, and growth. But psychology may not be the only factor involved. Some researchers believe that the environment surrounding a person's birth season could also play a small role in shaping personality and behaviour. People born in January spend the final months of pregnancy during the winter season. During this time, environmental conditions are different compared to other times of the year. Winter months usually have less sunlight, colder temperatures, and different daily routines for families. These changes can influence things like vitamin levels, hormone patterns, and sleep cycles. Scientists studying seasonal birth patterns have found that these early environmental factors may slightly affect brain development and emotional regulation. While the effects are subtle, they can still shape certain personality tendencies. Some studies suggest that individuals born during winter months may show higher levels of persistence, patience, and long-term thinking. These are traits often connected with discipline and maturity. Of course, this doesn't mean every January-born person will develop the same personality. Human behaviour is influenced by many factors, including family environment, culture, and personal experiences. But when researchers look at large groups of people, small patterns begin to appear. And one of those patterns suggests that the timing of birth may gently influence how certain psychological traits develop over time. Another reason people born in January often seem more mature has to do with how others treat them while growing up. Because they are slightly older than many of their classmates, adults may naturally expect more from them. Teachers may ask them to help organise group activities. Parents might trust them with more responsibilities at home. Even friends may look to them when decisions need to be made. At first, these expectations may seem small, but over time, they begin shaping how a person develops socially and emotionally. When someone is regularly trusted with responsibility, they start practicing important life skills earlier than others. They learn how to manage pressure, solve problems, and stay calm in challenging situations. Psychologists sometimes describe this process as accelerated social maturity. It means a person begins developing adult-like behaviours earlier because their environment encourages it. For a January-born child, this can happen almost naturally. Being slightly older often means they are expected to act slightly wiser, slightly calmer, and slightly more dependable than their peers. As the years pass, these behaviours slowly become habits. Habits turn into personality traits. And eventually, the person may genuinely become someone who is organised, disciplined, and emotionally steady. What started as small expectations from others slowly transforms into real maturity. However, maturing earlier than others can also come with its own challenges. While being seen as responsible and disciplined sounds like an advantage, it can sometimes create quiet pressure that others may not notice. When someone grows up with the identity of being the mature one, people around them may begin expecting that behaviour all the time. Teachers may rely on them more. Parents may trust them with extra responsibilities. Friends may turn to them for support during difficult moments. Over time, this can create an invisible expectation to always stay strong, organised, and in control. Some individuals born early in the year report feeling like they had to grow up faster than their peers. Instead of making mistakes freely or acting carefree, they often felt the need to behave responsibly and set an example for others. Psychologists suggest that this type of pressure can sometimes lead to traits like perfectionism or self-criticism. Because when someone is used to being seen as dependable, they may feel uncomfortable when they fall short of those expectations. Despite this challenge, many people channel that pressure into motivation. They develop resilience, discipline, and a strong sense of responsibility that continues guiding them throughout life. When we look at the psychology of people born in January, something interesting becomes clear. Their maturity is not caused by just one simple factor. Instead, it is the result of many small influences working together over time. Being slightly older than classmates can create early advantages in confidence and responsibility. Expectations from teachers, parents, and peers can reinforce the idea that they are dependable and capable. Even subtle seasonal factors during early development may play a small role in shaping personality. Individually, these influences may seem minor, but when combined over years of childhood and adolescence, they can slowly shape how a person thinks, behaves, and approaches challenges. This doesn't mean every January-born individual will be exactly the same. Human personality is complex and influenced by many experiences throughout life, but patterns in psychology often reveal something fascinating. Sometimes the smallest details, like the month someone is born, can quietly influence the direction of their development. And that reminds us of something important. Our personalities are not created overnight. They are shaped step by step through time, experience, and the expectations of the world around us.